Well,
All right. And obviously I'll let you all know we're recording the meeting. Few quick announcements. I'm not sure everybody was on, but we'll move this ahead a little bit because I know we're coming up on a holiday and people are either getting ready to travel themselves or they may have people coming into town. We have a couple of members that emailed me this morning and told me they have some personal business to take care of and won't be joining us. So a little bit of an abbreviated audience to be expected with all that's going on. First, I want to let Paul talk to us a little bit about the COVID situation. Please, Paul, go ahead.
well, the cases continue to rise. We didn't have a meeting last week, but most places last week, they virtually doubled from the week before. And the rise continues at about the same rate. Didn't double from last week. In our county, we have 32 new cases this past week, which is the most since February 1st.
32.
32, and in Cape Charles, 10 of those were reported from Cape Charles. And that's the most Cape Charles has had since mid-January. So that's doubled in Cape Charles from last week. In Virginia as a whole, it continues to go up. The rate per 100,000 now is 253 in a week. Anything over 100 is considered high transmission status. So, and Virginia Beach is tied with Accomack for being the worst place with about 340 cases per 100,000 in the week. So things aren't getting better yet. They're continuing to get worse. And all I can say is that when I'm out in public, I don't see enough people taking adequate precautions. If you're inside in public, you ought to have a mask on. And that's about all there is to say.
I'm guessing there's no way to distinguish of the people that came down with it in Cape Charles, whether they were residents or visitors, right?
Well, eventually the visitors are corrected, eventually taken off the totals.
Okay.
So it's possible that some visitors were taken off the totals from previous weeks, and that would negate some of the new cases.
Okay.
Liz Jones came down over the weekend.
Wow.
And she and I were sharing a canopy at David Dowdy's school thing over in Charrington. So I suspect I'll be coming down in a couple of days.
I don't know if most of you know that the coffee house actually closed for several days because they had an employee come down with it. An employee had actually, it was unvaccinated, had just finally gone and gotten their vaccination and then got symptoms virtually at the same time. So they were obviously coming down with their case before they got the vaccination. And so they closed down because all the other employees in there had been exposed. I talked to Roberta mid last week, and her plan was to do a deep cleaning and open back up on Saturday. So I presume they're open again now.
Well, aren't they supposed to basically quarantine for 14 days? The employees?
Well, I don't know what the current rules are on that, frankly. But I would think they would have reported that to the health department. And don't know what that situation is.
Well, I guess begs the question, what's everybody?
All the employees had to be tested before they came back. But you're right, somebody could come down with it 10 days later.
Right. I guess that kind of begs the question. First of all, you, Paul, primarily, but input from anybody else too. what do we think about meeting next week in the coffee house? Should we play it safe and just do another Zoom meeting?
I
I
don't know,
think
I'd
so.
be interested in polling the group, the club, to see how many people plan to come. There may be, I mean, if only 10 people are gonna show up, we ought to just cancel.
How many do you need to break even?
Well, we've told Roberta a minimum of 20.
I bet we don't.
20.
You
Now,
think-
we've had meetings with 15 and, you know, we lose a little bit, but
Well, I understand that the coffee shop has a problem with their air conditioning. Our Mahjong group is not even meeting there because they have trouble with their ventilation. So we may not really want to start meeting there so soon.
well, I'd say
Well,
if we're gonna have fewer than say 15 people there, because people don't like the situation of COVID and air conditioning and whatever, and I think that could easily happen, then I think we should cancel and just have a Zoom meeting. So how many people at this meeting would plan to attend next week if we had it at the coffee house?
I would not plan to attend. I'll be on the safe side.
I would attend, but I think the best thing to do is to schedule it as a Zoom meeting.
I'm gonna be.
I suggest simply taking an email poll, like who can attend, and that check and send it back with a check. And if you can't get more than 12 or 15, I would say continue with the Zoom meeting.
Okay,
Well, when do you have to tell Roberta how much lead time?
Well, I would think if we told her, I think if we told her before the end of this week would be okay.
all right, by Friday.
Or the weekend. Friday at the latest, I'd say.
But it's Labor Day.
Okay,
True.
all right, I will send
People
out,
might not come just because they have Labor Day plans.
I will send out an email that I'll word it such that if you had a choice, would you rather meet in person or would you rather at the coffee house, or would you rather stay on Zoom for the next meeting, not forever?
And I'd say if we don't get more than 12 responses that they want to meet in person, then we go Zoom.
All right,
And I
That
think
makes-
that's likely to happen, frankly.
that makes sense. Okay, we'll handle it that way. And I'll give people till Friday to respond, and a non-response, I'll just consider they're not coming. Okay. All right, does anybody else have any questions on that for Paul or anyone else? Okay, thanks. John Burtis, welcome. Good to see you, buddy.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Real quick on the projects, the Caboose project, we're looking to get started again, probably, hopefully when it cools off by probably the mid or later September. And we've determined we're gonna do a power wash and get that roof done. And several members have power washing equipment. And we've had one I would consider an expert, take a look at it, and that's what they recommend. So we shouldn't have to go through the sandblasting part of it. And we do have some more volunteers, but we can always use some more. Don't have to be full-time, but if you got a little time, you want to give us a hand, it'll be welcome. And I'll keep people up to date on that. And we don't have Bob here, so we can't get an update on the fire hydrants, but Bill, what about the Rosenwald School?
I don't know. I talked to them about a week and a half ago. They had one set of railings to do. The goal is to be ready to move in September 1.
Wow,
So we're on track.
that's great.
But I have to make a phone call this week.
Okay, okay. And Medi for Medi and Mary for the basket. Oh, Mary dropped off. Oh, there she is. Okay.
Well, the basket has been submitted to the library. They have it. And I believe that they will go on display September 1, and the tickets will also begin to be sold at the time. And they have a website that you can purchase online tickets. But
And when is the drawing?
the drawing will be sometime. The drawing will be an ongoing thing. There will be several drawings every week, I believe, until December.
Okay.
Medi, do you know the website?
Well, I have it at
The
some
newsletter.
point in the newsletter. Yeah,
Right.
I can find it, and then
No, I'll get it.
And Mary, do you have any other things to add to that?
I think I saw all the information you want, the newsletter Maddie put together about 2 weeks ago. Like if you find that the newsletter from her 2 weeks ago, it has all the information, the join date, the website, and all that.
Okay.
Can I suggest that you keep putting it in?
Yeah.
yeah, I will put it again in the newsletter this week.
Okay. And John, since you're here, how about things happening at the YMCA?
Well, the good news is the membership, they have over 300 what they call units now, which they think represents 500 to 600 people. So that's all good. We still have some fundraising to complete, but it's going well.
How about their membership? Is it picking up?
Well, I was gonna say, I may have wasn't clear, but they have 300 plus family units now, which equates to 500 to 600 members.
Wow.
So it's really going well. For those that were lucky enough to make an early donation and become a charter member, the nights that they're not open or whatever, there's a lot of people take advantage of that. You get to use your key fob and go in when they're not open or after hours, and a lot of people like that. So we've done that several times as well. So it's all going well.
All right. Thank you.
Mhm.
And we're still looking for an awards chairperson. And we'd like to get another volunteer for coordinating highway cleanups. Dennis Libby was taking care of that, and he's no longer with the club. And Bob Church was kind of helping Dennis a little bit, but he hasn't done this, and I would rather somebody, he's pretty busy with the whole fire hydrant thing. So somebody that's got a little bit of time to spare. My understanding, Paul's done this in the past, and he can comment on this. It doesn't take a large amount of time to do this. It takes a few phone calls, and somebody with an SUV or a pickup truck. Doesn't have to be the person coordinating it, but just somebody they know to transport the bags and the pickup material and so forth. Paul, you want to add anything to that?
Well, you're right. It's not that much work. It's only once a quarter. And you just have to, mark your calendar to be sure you start doing what you need to do when that quarter comes around. I think it's been about 4 months since we've cleaned it up. So it's a little overdue, actually.
Yeah.
I did it for a number of years. I just thought it was time for somebody else to do it. 2 other people have taken it since then. I've trained them. I'll be glad to train another.
Yeah. Well, that kind of leads into the next thing. Invite friends and neighbors, and let's see if
Hey, Chuck, I think Medi wouldn't be aggressive enough to speak up, but she had a very exciting meeting with Diane this morning on a major Rotary project.
Okay, go ahead, Mary.
Well, we had the meeting about what was the interview questions committee. I don't know, Bill, I'm not prepared to.
Well, just say it was a great meeting and a number of people are prepared to interview people about African Americans who were long forgotten ago in Cape Charles.
And this is really part of the project that we have about the invisible history of the African Americans in Cape Charles. And we are beginning to interview for the oral history. And today we had the workshop of the training of the interviewees so that we can conduct a very good and valid interview.
Also, Reggie, Paul, and Bill Murphy have been working their butts off on the technology side for the interviews.
Don't forget Diane. Diane's worked harder than anybody.
Oh,
Yeah.
forget Diane. Just forget Diane.
Well, you can't do that much as you might try. Well, actually, everybody on the committee has just done a tremendous job. And we did have a great workshop this morning. And we're going to have part 2 on Thursday. If there's anyone in our meeting today that might like to be an interviewer, you know, we'd love to have you join the project.
Yeah, I just add that I think it's a very exciting project to be part of. I was fairly enthusiastic about it after I read Tom's book. Now, after sort of getting into it and seeing sample interviews and putting all the questions together that we plan to ask, I'm really excited about it and looking forward to doing some interviews myself. And I would encourage anybody to join. It's not too late. The session this morning was recorded and it would be available for anybody to watch if they want to. And then you'd be, you could do that tomorrow and be ready for Thursday.
That's right.
Additionally, the team of individuals who's working together is awesome. I don't recall the last time I worked with a group of people who work so well together, so diligent and put in the extra hours and extra work necessary to get done what needs to be done within the timeframes that are allowed. So I compliment everyone on tremendous effort and working together and doing it well.
Now, I think you had the library involved in this too, right? Some
Well,
people there.
Later on, we will involve the library in terms of housing the interviews permanently.
Okay. And how about the Northampton County government and the courthouse and so forth? Have you got people involved from that side of it too?
Not yet, but I think that we are going to explore that possibility later on in the historical societies.
Yeah. Well, the one thing I'll tell you, you probably already know this, Northampton County Courthouse is the oldest running courthouse in colonial America in the United States today. And they have records that many other courthouses in Virginia lost in a fire at Richmond during the Civil War. And just out of luck, Northampton County never transported their records to Richmond during the Civil War. So they've maintained those records that many other courthouses in Virginia lost in that fire. So that courthouse up in Eastville is just a gold mine of documents and information. John Burtis may know that and be able to comment on that as well.
Yeah, I have been to the courthouse and I'm glad to see that Tom Godwin's book is also housed in that location now. So I'm sure that the results of our efforts will also be housed there later.
Mm-hmm.
Chuck, I would add, I had a former tenant, Howard Mackey, Dr. Howard Mackey, who rented from us for a number of years, and he was a professor of history. He took it upon himself to transcribe the original records and print volumes just because he wanted to do that. And he got maybe 8 or 9 volumes. I'm not sure how far he got, but these old deeds are very hard to read.
Yeah.
And he did that personally. And there are volumes at the courthouse that are, readable, that are not in the old English and not handwritten, that he took the time to transcribe, and they're available as well. So if you're going back to the beginning of time, the 1600s, and however forward he got, it'd be helpful to look at those as well.
Yeah, the Old English, for one thing, is hard to read and understand.
Yep.
But add to that, back then, they had sort of, Paul, excuse me for saying, but they had the doctor's handwriting. The handwriting was just horrible in a lot of those old documents. But it's really interesting. When I worked in genealogy, before all that came on the internet, I did a lot of work in local courthouses and archives and places like that. And it's so much easier to look at the real document and transcribe it than it is to look at a scan of it or a picture of it online. So yeah, you got to wear the white gloves and all that stuff when you're handling the original documents, but it's actually a lot easier to go on site and look at them and work with them. Okay, thanks, Mehdi, for the update on that.
I have a question.
Go
How
ahead.
many of you remember the old liquid ink with the stylus to scratch the paint? I remember that when you were signing documents, it dipped the pen in the ink and scratch a name on it in some kind of way.
Yeah.
I think I still might have some of that around.
Where Randy and I went to high school, the old desk in the old high school in North Avenue had the little hole there for the ink well.
Mhm.
So I never used the quill pens or anything, but we had fountain pens back then where you had to stick the pen in the ink bottle and then pull up on a tab to draw the ink up into the pen.
John Burtis, I think he has some in his office.
Hey, Stram, hold it up again.
Yeah, there you go. Yep, there's the ink well, or the hole for the ink well.
You still
Boy,
use
Bill,
it,
you
Bill?
must be old.
He
Okay.
is.
All right, invite friends and neighbors and really let's see what we can do to pull in some new members. And I think that's going to get easier once we get back into the routine of meeting face to face. But, talk with people. We have a lot of new people getting ready. That's one advantage of what's going on now. We have a lot of new people that are getting ready to move in to the area down here with the big housing boom we're seeing. A lot of new homes going up right here in Bay Creek, but all over the county, actually. So don't be afraid to mention you're with a Rotary and, hey, we'd like to see you come to our meeting. And once we're back in person, come and have lunch with us. So put the word out. One thing I wanted to hit on today was, now that we're getting ready to transition, it's going to get a little more difficult to get in-person people to come and talk with us at every single meeting. So Bill Payne and I, and possibly Reggie, will be working to see if somehow we can cobble together Zoom to be incorporated into our in-person meetings, where we can invite people as guest speakers who are not in the local area. So we'll be working on that in the near future. But in the meantime, Reggie would really like to hear, even today, if you have something in mind, of people who we could pull in to speak with us at our meetings, either by Zoom or in person. So does anybody have any ideas right off the cuff of people we can contact and invite them as guest speakers?
First, Chuck, before we get to the feedback, I want to thank those individuals who've already sent in some suggestions and recommendations. Some of them are on the list already to speak. Others we're still working with. So I want to thank you all who have participated so far. And if you have any other ideas, any other individuals or ways of finding speakers, yes, we welcome that information.
And with projects around the area that are ongoing, don't limit yourself to people that have not spoken to us yet. We don't mind getting updates from people that may have spoken to us a year or so ago if things are progressing or there's new plans on the table for the area. So does anybody have any things they want to throw out right now? Just ideas floating?
I think we ought to invite the mayor again. The mayor hasn't been there in a while.
Yeah.
Bill Stram has his hand. He wanted to share.
You're on mute.
Bill.
You're muted, Bill.
Okay, November is Foundation Month, Rotary Foundation Month. So I would think as a body, we would like to have somebody at least once talk to us on grants, on the annual fund, on endowment. They're available. And so we have a lot of new people here. So, you know, just an overall on the foundation would be great. And we can arrange that. And Reggie, I can send you a list of the names and those people that can talk to them. So at least one week during November, we ought to talk about the foundation. And oh, by the way, World Polio Day is October the 24th, I think, which is a Sunday. And so the Tuesday before that, we ought to have Purple Pinky, or we can have it 2 days later, whatever is easiest for the club. So if we're back in the coffee house.
Yeah.
Yes, Bill, would you send that information to me? That would be great.
I will.
Thank you.
Okay, Mary, you're on mute.
There's someone like really wants to come to speak at our Rotary Club. I think he is a retiree. He worked in the cybersecurity industry for so many years. So he really want to educate people how to like something about like cybersecurity, like things like that. So he does not really want to talk to us through Zoom. He said he wants to only talk in person. I think he texted me a few times asking when we would be back in person meeting. I kind of like, I did not really know exactly when. So would it be okay if I give Reggie's number or Chuck's number direct to him so you guys get connected and arrange that?
Yeah, Reggie would be the best person. You can give his contact information, but if you can get his contact information, Reggie can contact him as well.
Right, I cannot mention that, but he said because he works in cybersecurity, he kind of like more like a skeptical about calling people he does not know or even doing meeting on Zoom.
I understand.
So I guess like I don't know. I mean, like.
Yeah, you can give him Reggie's email address and or his phone number, and he'll talk with him.
Reggie, would that be okay? Do I have your permission to do that? Or
you do. My top secret clearance is expired, but yes, that's fine there.
Actually, I will mention your name to him, and then I will ask if I could give his information to you, and you can text him, say like I don't know, like you're from Rotary, and if he's interested in being a speaker, contact you directly, and something like that.
Absolutely, yes,
Okay.
we'll work it out.
Right.
Thanks so much, Mary.
Thank you.
And I'll throw one out on the table, sort of in the same field area, technology. If we could get somebody from Spectrum to speak with us about internet availability and on the shore here, just give us an update of what they're working towards with fiber and or wireless services for internet capabilities. Bill, you seem okay with that.
Reggie, the name there is Pat Cody. I don't have a contact number for him, but I could probably get one. If I can get his phone number, I'll send it to you. He's involved with the broadband
Mhm.
project, and
I have it, Randy.
he's overly knowledgeable, so it's going to be
Yeah.
hard for him to talk down to us,
He's
but
not Spectrum. He's
No, he's not
Um,
Spectrum, but he knows broadband, and
okay.
he's a good idea anyway. So get you Spectrum and Pat, Cody, and
Yeah.
Reggie. I'll give you Pat's number.
there you go.
Okay, thank you.
And Reggie, I don't know, I didn't check, but a few months ago, I gave you a pointer. Just an interesting thing was Chincoteague. Did you have any luck with that, getting someone to talk with us about the annual pony corral, as well as some history of Chincoteague and so forth?
Not that one. That was another one that you sent me that we are working on, but
Okay,
yes, it's on the
All right.
list.
and I'll try to dream up some more too. One thing you can do, you probably already do this, is just kind of read the local news and stuff like that. And you can pick up a few interesting things going on there. And a lot of times they put a contact person in there to find out more information.
Right. Yeah. Well, good
Anybody else
feedback.
have? Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Reggie.
No, I was just saying it's all good feedback, all the creative ideas and thoughts. It all helps. So we can continue to fill out our speaker schedule.
Yeah.
By the way, let's see, this coming week, Paul is speaking on his bio, and the following week, John Coker is on the schedule to speak.
Yeah. And if anybody else during your travels or something, just kind of suddenly enters your mind, hey, it'd be interesting to get this person to speak to us about this. Just let Reggie know, let Reggie or I know, either one of us. And, don't limit yourself to just local people. Again, we're going to be looking at continuing to use Zoom, even in a coffee house, to remote in somebody. We'll have to work on that, but we'll get it resolved. So just keep that in mind. We're looking for guest speakers, and any of your ideas will be welcome. Okay, I'll open it up to the floor. Does anybody have anything else they'd like to bring up? Alan, you're on mute.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
You're back on mute, Alan. Okay.
There we go. There we are. I just want to say that the pacemaker surgery went really well. I have a lot more energy. I'm out on mile-long walks now, all that kind of thing. So things are going ahead very well.
Wow, great. Can I borrow that I'm taking a bike ride today. Go ahead, Paul.
No.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I'll tell you, I'm really looking forward to seeing my great-granddaughter. I saw her back in April. My daughter and great-granddaughter are heading down here. They'll be here Friday. And I just got some videos of my great-granddaughter standing up on her own and starting to prowl around and finding all the little dust bunnies and sticking them in her mouth and things like that. So I've kind of coined the phrase, her name is Lily. So with her getting into everything and able to get around now, I'm calling her Hurricane Lily. So batten down the hatches, hide all your valuables, because Hurricane Lily is on the move now. She's pretty incredible little girl.
Point of order. I have just heard 2 free happy dollars.
Yeah, yeah.
Point of order, point of order.
You did hear that, and that actually leads us right into that. And Bill, make it 5 happy dollars. Anybody? Alan, go ahead, and you're on mute. Alan, you're on mute.
There. Okay. I was, are we on?
Yes, go ahead.
I was gonna say, my grandson and his wife and their 3 children are coming to visit for the Labor Day weekend. They'll be here from Thursday to Monday. Looking forward to that. Lots of activity at the Burns house this weekend, okay? So
All right.
good. So we're gonna get some outdoor activity as well. So then I'm up and running.
And how many happy dollars is that, Alan?
That's worth $2 for that one today.
Okay, anyone else? Happy dollars.
Reggie.
Hi, Reggie.
Yes, I'll give 10 happy dollars.
Right.
I survived the move and the experience. We didn't hire movers. We hired our 2 grandsons who are huge and their dad, and all of us got together. So the experience was really, really tremendous experience. And $10 for a successful move and surviving it.
Congratulations. So you're here full time now, right, Reggie?
As much as possible.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, Bill Payne.
I have 5 happy dollars because guess who's skying into Norfolk on Sunday?
Does her name rhyme with Jackie?
Yeah, it does.
Oh, I'm sure you're anxious to get her back.
Oh, yes.
Get that house cleaned up.
Just $5? Come on now.
Okay, 10. Okay, Stanley, 10.
You know, I took a picture of my house after I cleaned it and posted it on Facebook, and they took it down as fake news.
That's a good one.
Okay, anybody else with happy dollars? Go ahead, Al.
Yeah, five for me. My daughter's flying in from California in 2 weeks and going to be staying a few days. So we're all happy about that.
Yes, sir. Anyone else? Go ahead, John.
I'm going to do 10 also. I'll do to match Reggie. I've got 5 for my grandson, the hopefully prospective pro baseball player. He had a very good trip to California, and he's since decided to decommit to South Carolina, where he's had a scholarship since he was an 8th grader. He hasn't announced his new location yet, but I think it's going to be pretty good for him. And the second 5 is Sheila and I are going to College Park, Maryland this Saturday for the first time for me in a long time to see the Mountaineers beat the Terrapins, I hope. So we'll be surrounded by Terrapins, so it could be bad if it doesn't work out that way. In fact, our tailgates with people from here are all Maryland fans. So
Turtle Power.
Great place to go.
Well, I guess I'll have 10 happy dollars. I just had my recent birthday and I had 6 classmates come and help me celebrate my birthday the entire week. And that's why really I was not available for much of anything.
Congratulations. You got a lot of friends all over the world, Maddie.
Well, these are my classmates from medical school and we all stay in touch together.
Okay, any more happy dollars? Go ahead, Randy.
I have 5 happy dollars. We already talked early on. Dawn did get a steroid shot in her back. And so far, she's gotten a lot of relief, not full relief, but a lot of relief. So that's good news.
Yes, it is. All right, I think we've done everything with happy dollars. And as I mentioned a little earlier, we'll abbreviate the meeting a little bit because I know everybody's got things to do. And I really appreciate you all coming on. We actually had a good turnout. I think we got up to 12, we got up to about 15 people.
15,
So,
yeah.
Yeah. All right. Bill, can we close things out, please? All right. For the things we think, do, and say, number 1.
Is it the
Is it the
truth?
Is the truth?
Number 2.
Is it fair to all concerned?
Number 3.
Will it build
Build
goodwill
goodwill
and better
and better
friendships?
friendships?
And number 4.
Will it be beneficial to all
concerned?
concerned?
And Stan?
Will we have fun?
Absolutely.
All right.
Okay, everyone enjoy your holiday and look for the email coming out for letting me know whether you prefer to meet in person or to stay on Zoom at least for one more week. Thanks, everyone. Take care now.
Be safe.
Bye.
Thanks all.